to go on social media. And one thing we learned through COVID was that isolation breeds hatred. We need to get out and talk to one another.
Yeah.
And you did it, and you made a difference. Thanks so much.
I wish I could say I'm surprised.
Making it happen.
I'm not, guys. It never fails. The Republican Party is always shooting themselves in the foot. And it happened again yesterday. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Isaac Hayes Show. Where we talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I show everyone in the world that cages do have intelligence. And I hope you're having a great day. Again, this does not surprise me. It does not surprise me. I have 2 articles up, and I want to go ahead and show you. First off, showing you Fox News Trump agenda upended after GOP rebellion shuts down House floor. Politico. GOP proxy voting supporters killed Johnson's power
doing
move.
This. I know there's a lot of interest
and a
in
right-leaning paper.
First, let me start with you,
right
Eli.
here. So, guys, let's first get into it. First off, this is about proxy voting. Okay, proxy voting was brought in 2020. This was due to the pandemic. We had people that were against it. I believe I was against it. I'm not 100% sure. But the whole thing of proxy voting is, look, COVID is bad. COVID is hurting people. And we need to go ahead and just vote from home. And they did that. The Democrat Party was all for that. It was Nancy Pelosi that went ahead and put this vote on the floor for they can go proxy voting. And this was all supposed to be done after the pandemic. They were supposed to go ahead and just go home. Or come back and not proxy vote no more, and it worked out good. And that, we haven't had proxy voting. Well, there is a lady in Congress. Her name, let me go ahead and find her name here, Representative Anna Lona from Florida. And she wants proxy voting back. Why does she want proxy voting back? Well, because of mothers, okay, and fathers in the House of Representatives. What she wants to do is, and this is the bill that she was pushing. She said that as a mother, she had a child, but she had to be in Congress to vote for laws, and she thinks it's right that new mothers who had babies and even fathers that want to spend time with a newborn child should go ahead and get a 12-week, that's 3 months, absence from Congress and do voting from their house. Essentially not do their job for 3 months, and we as the American citizens will pay for it. And she went ahead and, look, she did everything right. To her credit, she did everything right to get this vote on the House floor. She needed 218 signatures. She got the 218 signatures to push this onto a House floor. And Mike Johnson, being the Speaker of the House, used power moves to stop this. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where the confusion is going on. 9 House Republicans voted with Democrats Tuesday to reject Speaker Mike Johnson's bid to block a GOP member from allowing lawmakers who are new parents to cast their vote by proxy. This is from Politico. Fox News reads it like this: a normally sleepy procedure vote ended in drama for the House of Representatives after a rebellion by non-Republicans against their own party forced chamber proceedings for a week to grind to a halt. This is Fox News right here. Again, I'm going to show you. I'm reading from Fox News, and I'm also reading from Politico. So all you people that are on YouTube and TikTok, and all you people that are saying, well, Isaac, you never go ahead and quote from liberal news sources. There you go. I do it. I try to look at both sides. And I've read several articles on this. And the reason it stops is because Speaker Johnson was trying to use a power move to where this was included with a number of bills, and it could not go through or something like that, and it was shot down. It was shot down by this Republican representative from Florida with 8 other Republicans siding with the Democrat Party to bring this to a halt. Now, to read a little bit more, Mike Johnson made a couple of statements. He told reporters that votes were canceled for the rest of the week in the comments condemning the mutiny. It is very disappointing result on the floor today. A handful of Republicans joined with all the Democrats to take down a rule that's rarely done. It is very unfortunate, Johnson said. That rule being brought down means that we can't have any further actions on the House floor this week. It is embarrassing. It is an embarrassing setback for House Republican leadership, who put on a full court press for both pieces of legislation. Now, what Mike Johnson is talking about here is that there's two legislative bills that were supposed to be voted on this week, and that was the vote for voter ID all over the country, which I have my issues with that as well. The Constitution says it's state constitutions that dictate, or state the states create the voting laws. So I'm very iffy on that. But however, I do agree that every state should put ID laws. Now the federal government is stepping in. I don't know how they're going to do that, but that was one of those bills this week. And there was another bill that was talking about the judges that were going ahead and trying to defy Trump's agenda by the courts. And a lot of these cases that judges are stopping, or they're suing, and they're putting a hold on, it's not because of the Constitution, or it's not because of the rule of law. It's because they're activists and they want to go ahead and stop Donald Trump from doing what he's doing. But this vote today, it's embarrassing for the Republican Party. And again, it never fails. It never fails. Republicans shoot themselves in the foot instead of fighting this behind closed doors like Democrats do. And Democrats still get things done when they do things behind closed doors. No, the Republican Party, we're going to be big and bad, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to fight on the House floor, and we're going to show you, and we're going to go ahead and the rogue Republicans, they go ahead and they side with Democrats. This isn't the first time rogue Republicans have done this. It was with Mike McCarthy, if you remember. I can't remember the legislation. Oh, it was maybe House Speaker. It was something of that nature, and it was the Conservative Party. 8 Republicans sided with the Democrats, and guess what? The Democrats were happy there. Yay, they're voting with us, and it made them look bad. Made Republicans look bad. And and look, there's a lot more to this, okay? Mike Johnson did something where this would not be brought into the House floor. She went ahead and got 11 Republicans signed the protest to change this rule and all this stuff. And it's just Republicans fighting amongst Republicans. It's not good. I should not be coming on this podcast or on this show and telling you, hey, Republicans are fighting one another. Okay, the country, the Republicans say this all the time. The country spoke, and the country said they want Republicans to lead. Well, then lead. Don't fight with each other. Again, I don't know how many times I have to say this. You never hear of Democrats fighting with Democrats on legislative issues. You never hear about it. But you hear Republicans fighting about it all the time. Look, I'm going to use Moon Griffon. His statement, if I had to be in a foxhole with a Democrat or a Republican, I would pick a Democrat. Why? Because a Democrat will fight tooth and nail. Okay? Democrats will fight tooth and nail, and they will get their agenda done. If they have disagreements, normally they will leave it in the closet. And look, there was that incident with Chuck Schumer siding with the government shutdown. Democrats crucified Chuck Schumer. That is a rare incident. Okay, this is unusual times. Chuck Schumer normally does not get attacked. They go into a closed session, and look, let's even bring that out. Before that vote was cast, Chuck Schumer brought his Senate Democrats into a room and talked about it, and they were yelling and shouting. This was all reported by major news networks. This right here, that incident is rare. But you normally don't see Democrats fighting with Democrats. On the other hand, you see Republicans fight with Republicans all the frickin' time, and I am getting tired of it. I understand this is a bill for mothers, and I'm going to give you my opinion on that, but I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of hearing Republicans are fighting with Republicans. Republicans are breaking rank. Come on, y'all people. You will work together. Work together. And look, it's funny. This week, I am not trashing Democrats. Go listen to my last episode. We need to do better, Louisiana. the Republicans in Louisiana and the people in Louisiana, they're like, oh, we want to change, but they never vote for change. And they always cry, we need change, we need change. And you had the opportunity. It happened in Louisiana. Now it's happening on a national scale. And I'm going to be honest with you, I am just so freaking tired of it. My goodness. You have the Republicans fighting amongst each other, and this shows disunity in Washington. And the Democrats are loving it. The Democrats clapped after this. Why? Because they defeated the Republicans once again, and they did not control the House of Representatives or did not control the Senate. They love when this happens. I don't know what the Democrats have control over certain Republicans, but they do, and they get their agenda passed. I wish Republicans would learn how to do it. And look, look, Dan Bongino is now with the FBI, but he made this statement. There's some Republicans that are Democrats. There's no Democrats that are Republicans. They're not. That was one of his golden rules. This right here just shows this unity. This shows that this shows that the Republicans can't get done. And look, a whole week of them not doing nothing because of this vote. And I understand Mike Johnson wants to get stuff done, and he's using his speaker power to stop things he don't like. But Paula Luna, you know, she resigned from the Freedom House call. She was on that. These are people, we agree with each other, but because we disagree on one issue, there is going to cause division. This is sick. Now, let's talk about the legislation she was trying to pass, because I do have some thoughts on it, okay? First off, she wants to put this proxy vote out because if you are a new parent, you get to spend time with your child, okay? I understand that. I am a dad. Okay, I'm gonna make this point. I understand. Look, when I was for all my children, I tried to take off. Okay, if I had a job and I could take off for a couple of days, I would. But in the real life situation, let's talk about that first. In real life situation, 9 out of 10, you can't take off that long. Okay, she wanted the new parents to have 3 months or 12 weeks, whatever way you want to put it, have 12 weeks off to spend time with their child, and they could proxy vote. So they wouldn't be denying their duty as a congressperson, but at the same time, they could take off for 3 months. In the real world, that does not happen. Okay, in the real world, you will not be able to have 3 months off to go ahead and spend time with your little child. I am a dad, and I have worked all my life. And the longest I have taken off for a child is a week. And that was my oldest one. Well, no, correction. It was longer because I got laid off the day he was born. That was the longest time, though. And look, I didn't even get to spend time with my son, my newborn son, because I was looking for a job. You have a job to do. If you want, okay, so as the first, if you got a job to do, in every situation, you're not going to go ahead and have three months off. Not in a normal job. If you're rich, maybe. But you're not going to, a normal blue collar worker will not be able to take 3 months off to spend time with their little one. That's my first point. Second point I want to bring out here. If you want to be a parent, don't run for political office. Bam, I said it. I know I'm probably going to get comments in YouTube. I'm probably going to get comments on Rumble. I'm going to get comments on my Spotify account. And people are just going to say, what do you mean, Isaac? If you want to be a parent, don't run for public office. And I'm talking to men and I'm talking to women on that. Because being in the federal government is a full-time job. Yes, we know they don't work all the time. Like, look, they get a week off and at our expense. But if you want to be a parent, do not run for political office. Be a parent. Also with women, look, I know I'm going to get some pushback with this. In reality, God made women to be in the home and raising children, and men to go provide for the family. I'm a preacher. If you want to get biblical on that, that's Ephesians. I think Ephesians 5. Go look it up. Okay, that's my biblical stance on that. All right, if you want to be a woman and want to be in Congress, you're either going to have to leave your kids home, unfortunately, Or you have to resign and go take care of your children. But I want to spend time with my child. Well, okay, you have a choice to make. Is it your children or your country? I'm not trying to sound rude here. It's just because, look, even that, new dad, you're really going to tell me a man's going to take off for 3 months? You know, in the first week, that man's going to be going golfing and he's going to proxy vote. I'm just making a point here. Look, I know I'm probably going to get some people offended with this, and I'm sorry, but I got to be truthful with that. But I want to spend time with my child. Well, then you shouldn't have became a congressperson. Now, look, there's some that are, yes, there is some that they go to Congress and they can have a family and all this stuff. I understand all that. If you can do it, great. But this Miss Anna is Representative Anna Luna is telling us, oh, I want to spend 3 months with my newborn child, and I can still vote. You can't have both of it. I'm sorry. Now, there's also the constitutionality of this. I think it is, you as a congressperson, you should execute your duty as a congressperson and be on the Congress floor and vote. And they even made a remark, and this is why I don't understand about some Republican women. They want masculinity. We like masculinity. But they attack masculinity on this. One, the representative that co-authored the bill made a reference saying, well, the Constitution was written for men in 1776, not for women in 2025. Well, you live in a country by the men writing that Constitution. I understand there's women that's in government now. It is a step forward. I understand all that. But ladies, if you want to be with your kids, you need to stay home. Because look, let's go with this point, okay? With this whole, I'm going to be with my kids for 3 months. Okay, you be with your kid for 3 months, but you want to extend the rule to 6 months, then a year, then 2 years. Oh heck, let's just stay home and vote from our home office. And look, I understand Mike Johnson's point on this. When does this slippery slope stop? And then, what you want to stay home to see your grandkids? Do you want to stay home to see your aunt, your uncle? When is it going to stop? That is a legitimate question. Now, again, Mike Johnson doing everything in his power not to get this on the vote. Look, if she did the proxy, if she did the procedure to go ahead and get this on the floor, because let me go ahead and find it. She attempted to force a bill onto the floor via a machinim's call a discharge pardon, which was effectively run leaders to hold a house-wide vote on legislative provided the petition gets support from a simple majority of the House. She got 218. Mike Johnson shouldn't have stopped that. I will give that point to Miss Anna, Representative Anna, that they shouldn't have stopped her from doing that. They shouldn't have stopped her from doing that. And to do everything to stop it because you disagree. If she got 218 votes, 9 out of 10, she was going to get 218 votes on the House floor. Look, I don't agree with this bill. I will make that point out. And look, I'm trying to have some sympathy for the mothers and everything that they chose to do this. But come on, man. You got to do your job. Let's go ahead and deal with another issue with this. This is probably going to be a longer show than normal. Democrats. This is my third point. Democrats are in favor of. They were in favor of this bill. They joined the 9 Republicans in passing this bill, and they cheered, "Yay!" And this is okay. This is a whole argument in itself. Okay, the Democrat Party. I think this is the point I need to address here. The Democrat Party want mothers to spend 3 months with their new baby. But before while the baby's in the womb of that mother, they're encouraging people to have abortions. Don't you think that's ironic? Oh, we want the new mother to spend time with the little itsy bitsy baby. Probably the next 2 seconds they're outside. Trump's trying to stop abortion. That's a woman's choice. See how hypocritical that is? These people, these Democrats are pushing for women to have quality time with their little baby. But right before the baby's born, they want to have something called they want to have pre-board they want to have abortions up to the 9th month. How hypocritical can these Democrats be? And look, they're not in favor of this because they care for the mother and the little baby. No, they don't want to show up to vote. Well, let me say it like this. They want to vote, but they don't want to show up. See, if they have something more important like raising money or pushing or being at a rally with Bernie Sanders and AOC, and there's an important vote going on, they don't have to hurry up and go to Washington. I'm making that point. They want to continue raising their money and making all their money and doing all their more important stuff than casting a vote on the congressional floor. That's why they would cheer. They're not caring. They don't even think of the mother and the child. Again, like I said, that Republican lady that's having a baby, she shows up pregnant. And, oh man, I heard they might have issues. Well, they should abort that baby. But now they want her to spend time with it? And they're not happy for that. And also there's a third point why the Democrats went ahead and joined this. They knew this would stop some of the Trump agenda. And two of the biggest agendas, in my humble opinion, that the Democrats are worried about. Trump wanting voter IDs. I still, for the life of me, don't know why any citizen of the United States that is a rightful citizen that wants to vote should not endorse IDs. Oh, it's racist. Really? How is it racist? Well, you know, people of the minority can't really get licenses. Well, if they're not a citizen, they're supposed to get a license. They have to go through the proper channels. I'm just making a point, and which is funny. Okay, you have to have an ID to get into a bar, to certain bars. You have to have an ID to get on a plane. You have to have IDs for all this, but the vote, that ain't nothing. And then also these activist judges, I've said it, these activist judges that are trying to stop Donald Trump from deporting people that are illegal here in the country. They want that. They want that because they're stopping Donald Trump from deporting people. So yeah, they were all in favor for this because they stopped Trump's agenda, at least for a week. Congress is at a stalemate now. They can't do nothing. They're going home. This is why Democrats didn't care about the mothers. Democrats didn't care about the new fathers. They didn't care about the new parents. They cared about themselves. That's why the Democrats put this. That's why the Democrats stopped this. And again, you know, my final point on this is shown to the point again. The Democrats are laughing at us. You know, the Democrats, yes, they have their issues, and I hear commentators say they are not united, and I can agree to an extent that they are not united. They don't know how to combat what's going on. And then again, maybe they do. They're dividing Republicans. Look at this. Look, something this simple as proxy votes, and Mike Johnson could have probably handled this a lot better, but this proxy vote, they divided Republicans on this. And they got what they wanted. They're stopping Trump's agenda. They're dividing Republicans. That's what they're doing. And we need united Republicans to stand up to push the Trump agenda. Okay, look, Mike Johnson does not, I'm not giving Mike Johnson a pass. Mike Johnson did do wrong by not letting this vote go through and trying to bypass it to where she couldn't get this votes on. This vote's going to evidently get to the floor and it's going to pass. Unfortunately, as much as I disagree with it, it's going to pass. But this shows Republicans are not united, and it just shows Republicans are shooting themselves in the foot. But in 2026, they're going to go on television, vote for the Republican Party. And look, unfortunately, if they keep doing this, Trump won't have a Republican majority going forward from 2026 to 2028. And all you're going to hear is impeachment, removing from office, and trying to stop his agenda. And Republicans need to do better. They need to do better. It's sad. I don't want to report on this, but I'm just saying Republicans, you need to do better. You're not showing that you're united. You're not showing that you're not doing the job that we sent you up there to do. And look, I understand trying to rebuild the things that Trump, Trump did from 2016 to 2020. I understand it's gonna take time, but this all because of one vote. And look, I'm sorry. If you want to spend time with your kids and you have the means, you need to stay home with your kids. And look, that's a big step. Look, that's one reason why I never got into politics. My family would have been lacking. I'm in ministry, and look, I'm trying to spend time with my family. We need to do better, Republicans. Before I roll out, I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to my good friends at PRIMETIME Media, Kelby and Joe, created PRIMETIME Media to go ahead and get our voices out there. We have, look at this, guys. We have articles talking about all this, which, look, I'm probably gonna have to say this story right here. Yeah, I'm on the screen right here. Can Trump run again? I'm planning on doing an episode on that, by the way, so giving y'all a heads up. But hey, this is something that I gotta look into. But look, PRIMETIME Media, gotta look at the website, and look, we have some great shows here. Look, the Kelby and Joe show, Kelby Talks, the Isaac Hayes show, which is this show. Look, guys, Kelby Talks, man. Kelby just had our state rep from our parish on there talking about the amendments and why they failed. Chad Boyer, real good friend of the show, he was on there. But look, guys, you can go. Look, their new show came out today. Let's just go look at that. Look at that, man. Look, the new show today, man. They came out. I think it was today, or it might not be today. Maybe the other day. I don't know. But it came out, guys. And look, great show. They have their TikTok right here. Go ahead and check out their TikTok. Go ahead and check out PRIMETIME Media, guys. I love to give them a plug. And look, Guy Fieri, man, I love Jadonna's Driving and Dies. I don't know about you, but go check out PrimetimeMediaLA.com, PrimetimeMediaLA.com. We also are giving a giveaway. It's still on that I'm aware of. If it's not, I'm sorry, but yeah, go ahead and sign up to the show, guys. You'll be very happy too. And like I said, got some great stories up there. So go ahead and check out PrimetimeMediaLA.com, the home of the Isaac Hayes Show. With that being said, I was going to wrap up this show. Do me a favor. I need your help. Let's get this show going. We had 242 subscribers on YouTube. We are over 200 followers on Rumble and on TikTok. We're over 1,400 followers. I want to get to 1,500. I want to get to 300 on YouTube and Rumble. Go subscribe. If you're listening on the podcast, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and check out our shorts. This helps out more than you know, guys. I need your help. I want to thank you for all the supporters that are continue to listen and that are following the show. It's always a blessing to have you guys return. Please remember to subscribe. Please tell your friends about it. And until next time, you be blessed. You be encouraged. We'll see you on the next episode of the Isaac Hayes Show. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you next time.